So here we are in Photoshop. Always remember that for you to be able to follow along what we're doing here, you need at least a CC version of Photoshop. Any CC version is fine. So I'm going to open the image now. I'm going to File, Open, and I'm going to select both EXR files, the final render and the V-Ray Wirecolor. Now, one thing that you need to keep in mind here is that I gave you in the previous module two options for final image saving. If you save manually, you're not going to have transparency in the EXR, and that's okay because you can use the V-Ray Wirecolor to get that transparency for yourself. If you disable the frame buffer and you allowed Max to save the image automatically, it will have already the sky cut off. So either way you chose, I'm going to click Open. And you can select either as transparency or as alpha channel. If you saved directly from Max automatically, it's nicer if you come as transparency because you won't have to cut anything off. It will be already removed for us. So I'm going to select that option and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to select the same option to the Wirecolor. There you are. Now, don't panic. If that's not the case, if you saved manually, all you have to do is just grab the magic wand, select this area here and delete it. Okay? So let's paste these two guys together. So I'm going to go to the Move tool, Ctrl A to select everything in this scene, Ctrl C to copy, switch back, Ctrl V to paste. So in here we can move this around and there you go. So we have both images overlapping each area that we want to treat. We can use the V-Ray Wirecolor for better selection. Let me just rename this and rename the base. So like I said, the Wirecolor is only here to make the selection process easier, but it's not going to be in our final image. We're just going to use this as a selection module. So I'm going to hide this for now and we're going to start the tweakings of our render. There are a few things that we always need to do. So we have a EXR file which is 32 bits per pixel. That means that we have more light and more color information in this image. So we need to take advantage of that while we can. So while our image is still 32 bits per pixel, let's do some light and color tricks here. For that, I'm going to duplicate this layer here, Ctrl J. And I'm going to do all the changes on my copy because if I really mess up, I still have the original below. So I'm going to select the copy and I'm going to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. In here, you're going to see that we have more information in this window, so you can see the difference between the two images here. So this filter here can read all the information that we have available, and in here we can do a lot of good tweakings. First, what we need to see is that we have a little blown out in a few light areas, so we can try to tweak this with highlights or with whites. Let's try here. Try to lower the highlights. Let's try to increase the exposure a bit. See how that looks. And you know, you just want to tweak and play with every single area that you have available and try to make the best of what you have. So, you know, just try to do this. And also, you can try to balance the color here. We're going to do another tweakings to balance the color out of this, but we can begin here. So I'm going to remove a little bit of the warmth of this image because it's way too warm, which is normal for this type of scene. And just try to get to a place where it is interesting. just tweaking. Don't overdo this. We're still going to do a lot of other tweakings, and the good results should come from the actual render. If you have to do a lot here, probably means that it should be best for you to just return to the final render and redo it, because right now we don't need to do a lot of things, because although we have a lot of information, it's still playing with pixels, so it's not the best way to get the best result. So I'm going to tweak a few things here. If you have noise issues, which I think is going to be pretty hard in this scene, but if you do, just switch to the detail tab and try to reduce the luminous noise. Okay, don't mess with the color, because in 3D renders we only get luminous noise. We don't get color aberration, so we don't have color noise. Okay, so just try to tweak everything as much as you can, and when you're done, you press OK. So here we are, we have this result here. If you're happy with this for a starting point, you can leave the 32 bits per pixel option, because while we add a 32 bits per pixel image, we won't have a lot of options when it comes to adjustments. So we do this light tweaking here, and then we switch this to 16 bits per pixel. So I'm going to switch to mode, 16 bits per pixel, and Photoshop is going to ask me if I want to merge the layers. I don't want to merge the layers, so I'll leave them as it is, and I'm just going to convert them. And there you go. So we have the light settings that we adjusted, but now this image has less information than before. So this is the lighting that I'm happy with. So we're going to stop for now, and in our next clip, we're going to start to adjust the color and the overall balance of our image. So I'll see you guys then.